None of this will mean anything unless we can shut that portal.
Right.
And they decide to get her up on one of the flyer things so she can fly up to the thing and see if she can turn off the portal, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So when he throws her up there with his shield up onto the flyer dealio, after she gets the first guy, when she stabs into the back of the second guy and she's like, turn, she drops an F-bomb right in the middle of that little bit where she's up on the
effing turn.
It was right in the middle there. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was in there. I went back through it and listened to it like 3 or 4 times to make sure I was hearing what I was hearing. So it was just really funny because it was like, I guess my ears are becoming more attuned.
To what?
To listening? Words? No, to just listening for things.
Oh.
You know how you watch something and you just kind of enjoy it? And then you watch through it again and you're kind of a little bit more scrutinizing of it?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like why are we talking about this without being on the show? What the heck?
I thought we were recording.
Well, we are, but we haven't started yet.
We've started. Continue.
Okay. I got to find a spot in there that we're going to make it start. Or we should just start when we...
We'll just start afterwards. It'll just come in and then we'll say hello.
Okay. Okay, so I guess it's just after certain things that have happened in the franchise, in certain franchises, I've become more critical, I guess.
Okay.
In my observation. I guess the idea is that I'm trying to look for signs of the change earlier in the series
than when it was released.
Then when it was
announced.
When it was made public visually, or when it was announced, or what have you.
Right.
However, it was that they brought about a drastic change.
Yeah.
I'll move over this way a little bit. That's so I've kind of gone back through a couple different things, and I'm like looking to see when did this change happen.
Right. Like, at what point did this actually start?
And what's funny is that I've noticed that with the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it was Iron Man 3.
Is when it started to shift?
Is when the change happened. And they did I think they did a really good job of hiding it.
Right.
Because you had, right after Iron Man 3, you had Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Where he's fighting injustice still, and everybody's still a team, but he's,
He's not.
He is sticking to his moral compass.
Moral fortitude.
Yeah, his moral fiber. But and there's the intrigue of Hydra infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Right.
Which I thought was a cool twist. But then you have Iron Man 3, which is like Iron Man is being a little pansy baby PTSD bullcrap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all you have to do is look and see who the director was, and you're like, oh, okay, this all makes sense now, because...
Who was the director of Iron Man 3?
It wasn't...
Well, it wasn't Favreau.
It wasn't Favreau, yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh, okay, it just wasn't it wasn't the guy, and so I'm not surprised that Iron Man went this way. And then they, rolled with it. Because then you have...
Well, and then it seems like the entire franchise rolled with it.
That's what I mean. They just kind of okay, I guess this is the way we're going. And you have Age of Ultron, you have Civil War, which actually, it was Age of Ultron was next.
Right.
And Iron Man's all pissy, everyone should be upset about this situation that I created, right? Literally the entire movie of The Age of Ultron was Iron Man's fault.
Well, it was all Iron Man's fault.
That's what I mean. Like, pretty much the whole thing was Iron Man's
fault.
And then you had Civil War, where Civil War was like, everyone should sign this contract to hold them accountable because I'm unaccountable. Right?
Right. Well, which is, Iron Man doing that.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? It was like, you signed this agreement because you're unaccountable, but you're forcing everyone else to do it too. Right?
What I don't understand when they do politic movies like that is how they're able to capture it so amazingly well when they believe what they believe.
Because no, that's the reason why they're able to capture it so well, Luke. They are in the spectrum of the real world, they are literally propagating it. And so it's very easy for them to reproduce what they're propagating on the screen, on the proverbial silver screen.
Silver screen.
They are very easily able to reproduce the kind of turmoil that's created. And what's amazing, what's I think is really amazing about the whole thing is that they are able to so effectively and clearly present the side of freedom.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I don't understand.
No, but that's what you should understand, because they are looking at us. They are looking at people who believe in freedom, who believe in liberties, who believe in that the government shouldn't have the right to see into or control what you have, what you control, what you have, right?
Right, correct.
And your powers or whatever.
Yeah.
For them, a movie like Civil War is, I guess you could say, like an argument paper.
Okay.
You know when you did an argument paper in high school, you had your side that you were arguing, but then part of the essay was you had to argue the other side.
Yeah.
And then you defeated the argument, right?
Yep.
But it wasn't a valid argument unless you had a legitimate argument for the other side, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that a movie like that is an excellent example, because they're trying to make this argument that there's crazy people out in the world and that restricting or at least knowing, right? Because that's what they always talk about. Well, we want to know.
We just want to know.
We just want to know who they are. That will prevent bad people from doing bad things.
Right.
And the counter argument to that, which is the argument that's made all the time, is that criminals are criminals. They don't follow the law.
They never follow the law.
That is literally their nature, is to not follow the law. So why would you think that passing a law would prevent criminals? But their argument is that, well, anyone can potentially become a criminal, even though they say that, we're all inherently good.
Right.
But anyone can potentially become a criminal.
Right, yeah.
And so if we know where the guns are, then we can hold someone accountable. So if someone breaks into my house and steals my gun, which is very unlikely because I have a safe in my house.
Right.
And I double, triple lock my doors. And,
right, exactly.
I'm very precautious because I understand the burden.
Are you sure it's precautious and not precocious?
No. Precocious would be something else.
Okay, continue.
Which we won't talk about right now.
We won't talk about
we won't talk about people being pretentious or precocious.
Or precocious. Or precautious?
No, we're talking about people being precautious.
Oh, precautious. Oh, that's the right one.
I am precautious because I understand the burden of responsibility that I've taken on, right?
Correct.
You take on a burden of responsibility for protecting yourself and those around you, and for protecting liberty. You're taking on the responsibility of justice and liberty, and protecting justice and liberty for everyone around you. When you make that decision, because it's a decision, you don't just arbitrarily get flung into it. Most of the time, is that it typically is just a decision, and has nothing to do with weapons at all. It has to do with a mindset that you take on.
Exactly. Yeah.
weapons are just, and no matter what weapons they are, whether they're guns or
Well, it's a
a
sheep,
bow and arrow
it's
or a
sheep-
sword
it's
or
a
an
sheep-
axe or whatever.
It's a sheepdog mentality.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And so,
what the left or those that are proponents of gun control fails to remember is that why are there sheepdogs?
because there are wolves.
Because there are wolves.
But the problem is that people who are the people who are pushing anti-gun sentiment, guys like Obama and Bloomberg, guys like these guys,
Chris Evans,
yeah. The problem with these guys,
which is frustrating. Sorry. That's,
well, yes and no. It's
par for the course. I guess
we forget that before he was Captain America, he was Johnny Phoenix, or Johnny. What's his name in the Fantastic
from the
Four?
Fantastic Four?
Who's the womanizing player,
Right.
superstar person who does whatever the heck he feels like.
Yeah.
We forget that that's who he was before he was Captain America, and was portraying something that he is absolutely not anything of, right?
Captain America?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very much not.
And I think thinking back on it now,
Which is
I think
sad.
it's one of the reasons why Captain America: Civil War bothered me so much, because the conviction didn't feel real.
And that is unfortunately what a lot of those things boil down to.
Is that well? And what's funny is that I think it would have made more sense if Captain America had been on the side of signing the treaty, and Iron Man had been on the side of not signing the treaty, because that is, I mean, Iron Man 1 and 2. All you have to do is watch Iron Man 2, the scene where he's sitting before the Senate Arms Committee.
You can't have it, but what I have done for you is
I've
I've
successfully privatized world peace.
World peace.
Yeah,
You're
that's
welcome.
exactly it. That is the conviction. Is no, you can't have my stuff. I don't care.
Yeah, and then it goes to no. Let's turn it in. Let's register it. It needs to be under government oversight.
Yeah, it's like, what the crap,
Dear
man.
God, why?
Oh, it's because someone changed the story writing. That's why.
Well, and not yeah, and
Because we completely and totally changed
Iron
the
Man,
narrative.
this pansy PTSD who had to redeem himself however many movies later by
Snapping his fingers?
snapping his fingers.
Yeah, because that was really, honestly, the only redeeming factor of him in any of the new movies.
Was that
moment
when he became who he was meant to be from the beginning.
Well, and I think it's interesting that someone who, he feels so bad about the stuff that he's done and the problems he's caused, and then he just snaps Thanos and his army out of existence.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry, spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen or heard about Avengers by this point, who are you and what are you doing?
Yeah, what rock have you been hiding
What
under?
rock have you been hiding under?
Oh, and while we're at it, there's this thing. It's funny that you should say that, because there's this thing, totally randomly off subject. There's this group of people, and they play this game where they are the last person to hear about who won the Super Bowl. You ever heard of this group?
No,
They play this game every year, and I think the record is like 300 and something days.
Where they avoid all talk of the Super Bowl?
No, not all talk of the Super Bowl, just who won.
How do you do that?
I'm not sure how they do it, but they've got a system down, and I guess they make money off of it or something.
Like it's a betting thing. Like
I think there's like a pot, and you win the pot if you're the last person to hear about it or something like that.
that's incredible.
Yeah. So if any of those people are listening right now, the Chiefs won.
And it was glorious.
Anyway, sorry, I just had to
Not
throw
a
that in
sports
there.
fan, but it was glorious. Yeah, not a.
Anyway,
You're horrible.
sorry,
You
I
just
couldn't
ruined that
resist.
guy's life.
I
We
know.
don't even know who he is.
I ruined your chance of the pot, man. I'm sorry.
Well, it's legal now, so
In certain places,
yeah,
it's
different
still
pot.
federally
Sorry,
illegal.
my bad. Yeah, but who cares about the Fed? Nobody cares about the Fed. Until I say nobody cares about the Fed, then they show up at the door. Then
Why-
suddenly we care about the
Why
Fed.
would they show up at the door for saying that? You have freedom of speech, First Amendment, man.
Oh, they're fighting it right now.
Yeah, I know, but you still have the First Amendment. You can still fight back.
Your mom has the First Amendment.
She actually does. So does everyone else in the United States.
Mom also has the Second Amendment.
Mm.
You notice how it wasn't just your mom on that one? It was just mom.
Mm.
Did you like that?
Your mom.
By the way, hi, we're PodBros. It's Tuesday. How far are we? Are we bottom of the hour?
We're like 15 minutes in.
Oh, okay. Well, PodBros Tuesday. I saw this really cool thing today on Facebook. It was a pancake flipper where you flip like 6 pancakes at once and it makes them perfectly round.
Ooh.
And it just made me hungry for pancakes.
Ooh. But you just ate, though.
I like pancakes. No, it made me hungry then for pancakes, but I didn't make pancakes for dinner. Although I should have. I feel like I should have.
Anyway.
Should I have made pancakes for dinner? Anybody else like pancakes? I like pancakes.
I like pancakes, too, but...
Pancow?
Larry Pancow?
Larry Pancow? What is that from?
What do you mean, what is that from?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Is your brain not working tonight?
Okay, so I worked yesterday. So I got a job and had my first day of the job yesterday and worked a 10-hour day.
Okay.
And then today worked another 10-hour day.
Okay.
So I've worked a few hours. Okay.
20 hours.
It's a few in 2 days. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm a little tired. Actually, it was a lot of fun. I got to put in a security system yesterday and then another security system today with all the cameras. And I got to program it, and it was amazing. Super fun.
It sounds amazing.
It was.
So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah,
Larry
that's
Pancow.
right. They don't actually even know why we were talking about that. So before the show started, 17 minutes ago, when we just arbitrarily started talking about the Avengers, I was mentioning that I noticed that when I was skipping through the Avengers the other day that I found an F-bomb.
Oh, that's right.
And it was Natasha Romanoff who said it. And she gets onto the little flying thing at the end of... near the end of the first
If you're
Avengers
wondering
movie.
what an F-bomb is, it's when in the movie they go, F!
Well, actually, it was in the midst of a couple other things. That's why it was so brilliant. Because if you're not listening for it, you totally miss it.
If you're not paying attention,
So
you
now,
will not see it.
that's what I was saying about being observant. Because now I want to go back through all the other.
We're
movies.
also not going to tell you at what part in the movie it was, so that you have to go and look at.
I just
for it
mentioned
yourself. You said it was Natasha Romanoff, but you didn't say where.
Yeah, I did. I said it was when she jumps on one of the flying things.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Anyway, so now I want to go back through all the other ones and see if I can find if there's any other F-bombs in any of the other movies.
Agreed.
Which will mean that I'm probably going to have to do a button-amathon or something.
Ooh.
And just binge watch all of them.
Binge watch.
Unless someone wants to tell me if they found any. Because then I can speed up my
Binge
search. You know what I mean?
No.
Speed up my search?
Let's button-amathon it.
Well, I mean, we should button-amathon it anyway, but...
But.
But... But I do. Baka. Anyway,
Are you pulling on my leg?
So yeah.
So, have you heard about this new enzyme that they're giving the cows in England?
No,
It's to prevent them from burping because of global warming.
that sounds terrible, and like animal cruelty, actually.
You mean all of the things that they do to prevent the animals from being normal?
Yeah, that is something I've always wondered about. Why do animal cruelty groups get on?
Oh wait, Andre's going to get on our case. We're talking about the environment again.
Why do animal cruelty groups get on the whole like slaughterhouse thing or farmers that milk their cows, and they don't get on people like that are giving the animals enzymes so they don't burp or
Because it is a mental disorder.
yeah, it's like okay, this is a logical part of life. Is the cows are bred for nourishment.
That's all cows are bred for. They're not good for they are not good for anything else in the world.
They have leather and hide and
No, that's what I mean though. Like they are
actually,
cows are
for
purely
consumption. is
For
what you're saying.
consumption.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can consume all, and actually,
Both eating and using all parts of them.
depending on who you talk to, you can actually use every single piece of the cow. Actually,
For food?
Not for food, but you can use every piece of the cow.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So I mean, it's just like, okay,
No
this
doubt.
is like a normal thing, like a normal part of a cow, feeding it,
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Life of a cow.
The
What
life
is
of
your
a cow.
job?
You know, either your job is to make milk and make calves, or
Speaking of milk,
or your job is to be a
milk.
delicious, juicy steak.
Yep. I like to name my steak.
Oh.
Usually after the cow that it was named after.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So, funny story. We were talking the other day. We was hanging out with a couple guys, and they were talking about living on a farm. And there was this cow. And I forget what the name of the cow. Oh gosh, I'm ruining the story because I don't remember the name of the cow. It was something like it was like Big Bessie or something like that. Some like
Cow name?
cow name. And after they slaughtered the cow because it was, that point, then the guy who owned the ranch, who owned the farm, he would name the next cow the same thing. And he would just continue to name the cow the same thing over and over
Good
again.
Lord.
And it was just like, they were talking about how it was like, yeah, when you're a little kid, you don't know the difference. You're just like, this cow is really old.
We have been eating Bessie for 30 years.
Anyway.
I'm hungry. What you hungry for? I'm hungry for some Bessie.
Excuse me? Steak. I want some steak.
Steak. I
Sorry.
want steak. That's like the whole joke of making things, describing things differently, right? So
Okay.
I had water this morning.
Is that like...
I had water this morning, warmed up, poured over coffee grounds.
Oh, nice.
I had coffee.
Yeah. Well, that's like that game Taboo, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to...
Get people to say the thing without saying the
you
thing.
have to describe the thing without saying the word or the list of words that are under the word, right?
Correct.
Which I actually, it's funny because there's this game called Catchphrase, which is similar. You just have to get them to say what it is.
You have to get them to catch the phrase.
Yes, very good. But I like Taboo better because it requires you to use your brain more.
Brain more. Is that like a version of a sword?
A brain more?
Yeah.
No, that's a
It's
claymore.
not quite a claymore. It's something else.
No.
It's a brain more.
So, what's fun? We were actually playing Taboo on Sunday night. We had a big party
For Vince's birthday.
Vince's
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Vince. Which was yesterday, and we did do a show yesterday.
because he's old and turned 30.
Yep.
Anyway,
You're not very far behind him.
I know, but still, he's still older than I am. I will never not be as old as he is.
That is true. Some of us will always be older.
Yep. Anyway, so we were playing Taboo,
Anyway.
and I started, and I am typically not very good at Taboo. And I found that I was really good at it.
What was different?
I don't know. I think it's just that I'm always reading books. I'm always learning new things. And I think it was my increased knowledge, I guess, is the only thing I can think of, is that because
Increased faculty power?
my mental faculty has increased, that the game was exponentially easier for me. But I did notice something else, and this is something I've noticed in the past. As the game went around the circle, because you pass it around and everything,
Yeah.
there were some younger guys in our group who they're typically intelligent, but they're usually somewhat dense at certain points.
Right.
And as the game got closer to them, when they got the words, they actually got pretty good at doing them. First couple, they'd stumble through a first couple, and then they really started picking up, and it was like, wow. And they started guessing words, which is, one of the hardest parts is guessing what the word is, right?
Right.
Based on abstract information.
Abstract information. You're using big words today, and
Yes, I
I'm
am.
way too tired for this.
Yes, I am. And so I was just like, I was thinking about, because someone had catchphrase, and they were like, we should just play catchphrase. And I was like, no, we want to play taboo. And
Taboo.
And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I wonder if this is something that, I mean, this is something that's quantifiable. Is that obviously it's something that's quantifiable, but I wonder if it's something that using,
Spit it out, man.
having words that you can't say, it requires you to engage your brain more.
Well, it forces you to think differently. There are people who, you sit and you read a dictionary, right, just to learn different words and what they mean and how to use them, right?
Sometimes.
I enjoy doing that from time to time. I normally get hung up on one particular word, makes me laugh, and then I put it away, depending on what it is.
Depending on depending on where you start in the dictionary.
Depending on where I start in the dictionary, depending on what the word is, and depending on my current mental age at that moment. Sometimes I'm a 12-year-old
B
boy.
and I got stuck.
yeah. Sometimes
Between
I'm a 12-year-old
words.
boy. And
What's wrong with Luke? He's stuck in the dictionary. Give me that. Go back to work.
I started
Sorry.
I started in the Z's, and fell asleep. Yeah. So
If someone had a dictionary and it was just the letter Z, and they threw it at you, and you caught it, would you be asleep?
because you're catching Z's, nice. But then at the same time, reading a thesaurus is always fun.
I think reading
because,
a thesaurus is more fun than reading a dictionary, personally.
Because then you get all the similar words.
You get similar words in the dictionary.
Indeed.
But
My nose and ears are clogged right now.
I
which
can
is why
see
I keep
that.
making that face.
I
feel like my head is in a vice.
No, reading a thesaurus is actually better
a
because
thesaurus.
a thesaurus. Reading a thesaurus is better, and here's why.
Here's why.
No, the
Suffering
thesaurus gives you context into what you're reading and the words that you're reading.
I can't take you seriously. I like root beer. It's my
Gosh,
favorite.
that was brutal, man.
So good though. Bueno.
I knew it was an act.
Bueno.
I knew it was an act.
You only knew it was an act because it's a TV show and he's an actor. Of course it was an act.
False. Anyway, that's actually something else I've noticed a lot lately.
What?
I'm able to figure things out.
You're just... This is not the Praise Nick show.
It's not, but I'm just saying. You're just tired right now. We have similar attributes here,
Do we?
supposedly.
Where am I? What am I doing here?
Okay, never mind. Luke's a mentally deranged individual who is just lost in oblivion and has a mental disorder of some
Who's
kind.
Oblivion?
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Why? Why Oblivion?
So I'm just gonna keep talking, and Luke's gonna throw in random crap.
Why is Oblivion?
Why is Oblivion? How is Oblivion? When is Oblivion?
is Oblivion? I have to do that bid. I haven't done it yet.
What bid?
The one for the father-daughter thing.
What the heck, man? You had one job. Wait.
Actually, I have like 6 bids to do right now.
So why don't you just do them? It takes like 10 seconds.
It does.
Do you want me to help you, big guy?
Yeah, because I can't think straight at all. Anyway, welcome to PodBros. We're a production of Sound Bros Productions.
You should have waited like 50 seconds.
Why?
Because it's the bottom of the hour.
I thought we passed the bottom of the hour like 15 minutes ago.
No, it was 15 minutes ago.
I'm lost.
Yeah. You're at your house, big guy.
We're PodBros, a production of Sound Bros Productions.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. Oh, hi.
You've had a long, busy day. You just sit there, okay, big guy?
You just sit there. Hey there, big guy.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious.
So, You ever gone to a fast food restaurant, and you order something, and you get it, and it's the wrong item, or it's made the wrong way?
And you get angry because it's a fast food restaurant and it's not that hard and it's not freaking rocket science, and figure it the frick out.
So normally I get upset. Normally I only get mildly upset because I like to order a lot of specialty stuff. Like at Taco Bell, I get their spicy potato soft taco.
But you don't get it the way they normally
But I
make
take
it.
the Chipotle sauce off and I either put sour cream or avocado ranch, because that's how the avocado ranch is how it was originally when it was just the crispy potato soft taco. And then they ruined it by making it the spicy potato soft taco and putting creamy Chipotle sauce on there, which is nasty death. So I get it. I ordered a specialty item, and it's hard for people who make the same thing over and over again to do a specialty item. Whatever. But when you order root beer and you get Pepsi,
Oh, did you really?
it's just,
Did you complain?
I was in the drive-thru.
Did you complain?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Because I was in the drive-thru. And because I didn't taste the drink until after I drove away.
That's why you always taste your drink right away, and you always check
What's
your
funny
bag.
is I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I could just go in. And I was like, nah, I'll go fast and go through the drive-thru. Nope.
And the other reason why I don't go through the drive-thru.
Well, it was just like, how hard is it to put the right drink in the cup? And it was terrible because I don't like cola at all.
Terrible, 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 terrible.
I actually don't like any cola.
I need a drink.
Like, you know, like a lot of people like Pepsi or Coke, or they like Royal RC, Royal Cola.
Royal Cola.
Or
I like Pepsi.
or what's that stuff?
I actually have been craving Diet Pepsi. Very badly.
Diet Right
Diet Right.
is another cola. that a
So
lot of people
let's
like.
talk about addictions for a moment.
Well, I just
Freaking aspartame.
so let me just finish real quick. I just don't like cola at all. So to drink something
That you don't.
that I don't like,
that you
I don't
don't
like any
like
of it. It's
at
not that
all.
I have a preference over one or the
You
other.
just don't like
I
it.
just don't like it. To have that instead of getting root beer, which is, in my opinion, the only sugar soda to drink at all.
Dr. Pepper.
Well, yeah, but it has caffeine in it, though.
Water.
That's normally what I drink is water. Luke went into the other room because he needed a drink, so he left the door open. So now the sound sounds weird and everything. Anyway, root beer is the only drink I can drink because it doesn't have caffeine in it, as far as soda goes. That I like, because I'm not a huge fan of Sprite or 7-Up, or is there any other soda that doesn't have caffeine in it besides like Sprite or 7-Up? Actually, you know what? Grape soda doesn't have
Grape
caffeine
soda.
in it.
Orange
But they don't
soda.
have grape soda or orange soda there, so I guess that's kind of moot.
It's because we don't live in the South.
So,
We
I
can't
will
get
say
our
this, though.
grape drank.
separate from the caffeine, my favorite drink of all is Mountain Dew, hands down. I think if I was to make a list, regardless of what's in the drink, Mountain Dew number 1, A&W number 2, Dr. Pepper number 3 would have to be my list.
I can see that. I like Mountain Dew.
But you like Pepsi though.
I love Pepsi. But that also was born out of necessity, in a manner of speaking.
Why?
Because you remember, I used to drink Mountain Dew. That was my go-to drink.
Right.
But I drank so much of it
Oh, that's
that
right.
my
that's
body
right, that's right.
decided
Well,
that
you
at-
overloaded your system is what
yeah,
you did.
and so
Yeah.
my body decided that, hey, Mountain Dew's amazing, and you love this a lot. You're an adult male. You should wet the bed because you drank Mountain Dew. And so now, anytime I drink Mountain Dew, no matter what time it is in the day, I will wet the bed, and it is incredibly embarrassing
Are
and
you
a bummer.
sure? Because you haven't drank Mountain Dew in like years, though.
I really haven't. It's been 2
Yeah, it
or
might
3
have reset
years.
because I used to hate. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, that's another thing we could add that I could actually drink that doesn't have caffeine in it is ginger ale. Because my
Oh, I love
body,
ginger ale.
my body a couple years ago. So my dad drinks this stuff called ginger beer, and it's decent. It's real strong. It's got a real bite to it. I had some ginger beer, and it turned my stomach, which is weird because ginger is supposed to settle your stomach, but it turned my stomach, and I started throwing up. It was actually the last time that I threw up, that I was actually like sick and throwing up, that I can remember.
Right.
And I was throwing up and throwing up and throwing up and throwing up. And I was trying to settle my stomach down with some regular ginger ale, and it was just making it worse and making it worse and making it worse. And then I took some 7-Up or something like that, and it settled my stomach down. But since then, even just the smell of Canada Dry would turn my stomach.
Wow. So it's the ginger in it.
Yeah, I think it was the ginger. I think what happened is I had some sort of reaction to the ginger, and the smell and taste of ginger just would turn my stomach. And but I have had some ginger ale since then. Actually, just recently. It's been years and years, but I just had some just recently, and I was totally fine. I didn't have like any kind of gag reaction or any kind of reflex at all, even to the smell. It was just like, it's just another drink. But I've all but cut out any kind of soda in my life.
Right. Same.
Like I said, the only time I ever get anything is root beer, and it's only if I ever go out to eat, and I usually don't do that very much. So, it's one of those things where it's like, not a huge deal, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, it was really annoying. If it had been Dr. Pepper, I probably would have drank it.
See, I like Dr. Pepper.
That's what I mean. Is if it had been Dr. Pepper, I probably would have drank it, but it wasn't. It was Pepsi, and it was gross because it was cola. I just don't like cola. It makes my teeth. It makes my teeth feel weird. If that makes any sense at all.
Cola?
Yeah, just any cola.
No, that does make sense because it used to make mine. RC Cola actually used to make my teeth feel all sorts of funny.
But yeah. Anyway, I mostly just drink water, and milk. Drink a lot of milk. But yeah, I don't really drink anything else. I actually don't drink really much of anything else at all besides water and milk. And the occasional Mountain Dew. My preference, of course, is A&W Mountain Dew because it's the bomb. Cheesy. That and cream soda. A&W cream soda. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Speaking of root beer, you know what's amazing? Root beer floats. You know what's even more amazing? Cream soda floats. You know what's even more amazing than that? Canada Dry floats.
Canada Dry. Really?
It's really good.
Ginger ale float?
Mm-hmm.
That actually sounds really good.
And it's lighter because root beer is pretty heavy, right?
It sounds like something I would want right now.
Yeah, and it's nice. The other thing that's really good is, have you ever had a chocolate soda?
I have had chocolate soda.
Chocolate soda is delicious. Anyway, so
chocolate soda is really good.
Chocolate soda. So you were about to talk about addictions.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about
cola, and specifically Diet Pepsi,
and specifically Diet Pepsi. So I cut out all diet sodas from.
Sorry, not Diet Pepsi. Diet
Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi. Sorry, Diet Pepsi.
So I cut out all Diet Pepsi or diet soda in general,
right,
from my diet,
I have
along
as well.
with regular soda.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to drink very much regular soda.
And you've been working really hard for the last 2 days, and you're burning fat in your system.
And my body, I am craving.
Because your body...
I'm craving Diet Pepsi so stinking bad.
So this is actually
ridiculous.
This is actually something that scientists have discovered with diet foods. Is that with diet foods where they use sugar alternatives so that the calories are lower, the problem is that the sugar alternatives don't break down in your system as readily. and they actually will be stored. They can actually be stored instantaneously as fat. Your body will actually not break them down at all. They'll just store them as fat. And so what happens is that the sugar gets stored as fat, aspartame, sucralose. I forget what all the other ones are. There's a whole slew of them. But they're stored as fat, and then when you go to exercise and try to lose weight, your fat starts breaking down, the sugars are released into your system, and you get cravings for them.
Yeah, and it's horrible.
And it's ridiculous because you're like, I have a craving for this right now. And it's like, but I don't know why. It's like, oh, wait, and then you realize, it's like, oh, yeah, I used to eat this thing all the time, and it's breaking down in my fat. My fat that's storing those proteins or whatever is now breaking down. And I am now addicted. It's almost like it's actually like a chemical addiction. And this actually happens with
it actually is a chemical. It's not
but
like
I mean,
it is.
I mean, but it's like a drug addiction, like a regular drug addiction.
Yeah.
Because this actually happens where drug addicts will get clean of a drug, and they'll be doing something else, and their body will start breaking down some of the older fats that they have, or whatever, and their fats have been storing marijuana or heroin or whatever it is, whatever their drug of choice was, and the fat gets broken down and the chemical is released, and all of a sudden their body is like having cravings for whatever it was. And it's actually,
so is that why I'm craving meat so bad right now?
That's a little different. But that's actually the reason why there's actually people, and this is something that they've just recently discovered, that marijuana, when you smoke or consume, I don't know if it's consumed, but if you smoke marijuana, it actually deposits itself in your liver fat.
Okay.
And your liver fat actually doesn't ever go away.
Okay.
I was just reading this study about this.
So my liver will always be fat?
I don't know exactly how it works, but your liver fat is, because your liver is designed for filtration and cleaning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I guess it keeps a record or something like that of what your body cleaned.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So the marijuana, they actually have found where people that haven't smoked marijuana for 30 years, they still have trace amounts of marijuana in their liver fat.
Wow.
So, pretty crazy.
Well, I don't have to worry about that. I've never smoked marijuana.
Me neither.
Or any other drug.
So what else do you want to talk about?
Staple guns.
Wow, that's very specific.
And random.
Oh, not that random. There's a staple gun in front of you.
There is actually right there, which is why I said it. Have you ever noticed the staple guns? They work, and then they work, and then nothing.
Yeah. I don't.
And then you check, and it's there. It didn't go anywhere.
And then all of a sudden
it works again.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know.
Ghost staples.
Somebody who makes real guns should probably look at staple guns and see if they can make them better.
Ooh, there you go.
I mean, they technically work the same way, and I know that there are certain guns that operate the same way that staple guns work, where the mag loads in the front
with
that.
With a spring release like
and
that.
You're doing the spring release like that. Yeah.
Oh, what's that? A P90, right?
No, P90's on top.
That's right on top.
I forget what the name of that gun is. It's the one that's got the weird handle on the back of it, and it's all in front like this. Like the mag is right here.
Huh.
I'd have to look it up, but
yeah. Anyway,
it's one of those like I guess you could say like close quarters tactical weapon.
Indeed.
You know, something like the Uzi, or actually a P90 is the same thing. It's a close quarters tactical weapon.
We should go axe throwing.
I saw that axe throwing thing over at
the game place.
What is it, in the game?
In the ED.
In the ed.
In the entertainment district.
Yeah. I finally figured out why they decided to call it ed instead of calling it the ED.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it as that.
You don't want to share with the rest of the class?
Although it does make sense. Anyway. So there are times that I'm really glad that I live out in Chino, because I was just thinking about the entertainment district, and there's Dunkin' Donuts and Mod Pizza, and if
Oh,
I lived in
yes.
Prescott Valley, I would go eat there all the time.
Oh, yes, because Dunkin' Donuts is awesome.
It really is.
And Mod Pizza is even more awesome. Well,
And I
sorry.
would get
yawned.
really fat
Fat!
from eating
Fat!
donuts, because I love Dunkin' Donuts donuts. And I love Dunkin' Donuts chai tea.
I don't like chai tea. I mean, I like chai tea. It's not my go-to.
It's my go-to.
My go-to,
Although I do like fruit tea.
my go-to is a latte.
That's not tea.
I have tea. I have fruit tea.
What's your go-to tea?
Earl Grey.
See? My go-to tea is chai tea.
Earl Grey. Hot.
Engage. Make it so.
Oh, man. It's a good day. Good couple days. Very tired, but a good couple days.
I've been trying to get some housework done. Just working on some stuff, and it's really difficult because my roommate, his schedule changes all the time. And so I'll start to work on something, and then he'll be like walking back in the house, and it's like, don't you work today? Oh no, my schedule's changed this week. It's like, oh gosh, okay. I'm gonna go in my room and go to sleep. Awesome. I was just about to vacuum. I guess I won't be doing that.
Oh, that sucks.
And then I'm done with what I'm doing, and I go sit down, and I'm playing something, and then he leaves. I'm like, oh, cool. I should get up and vacuum when I'm done playing this game that I'm playing. And I get up to play when I'm done playing the game, and he's back again. It's like, what are you doing here? Oh, I just had to go out for a minute, go to the bank. It's like, or go shopping or whatever. It's like,
You should just clean.
I'm trying not to be rude here, but you're not leaving me much choice, okay? You
Darn
know?
it all. What the crap are you doing? Get out of the way.
So, but I know that he works tomorrow, so I'm gonna probably do some serious heavy cleaning tomorrow, because my house is in desperate need of vacuuming,
Vacuuming.
and the bathroom is in desperate need of
Oh, yes.
help.
Is it gross?
It's not that gross because I'm still a clean freak and I obsessively clean things, but there are certain aspects of the bathroom that I can't see all the time, so I don't clean them when I come into the bathroom, and they're desperately in need of cleaning, specifically the bathtub or the shower. There's a big black ring in the center of the shower.
Oh.
So I know it's not mold or anything like that, but it does need to be cleaned up because it's really annoying me.
Feet ring?
It's just a dirt
Just
ring.
a feet ring.
You know.
I
So-
cleaned my house the other day.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. You inspired me.
It was nice.
So actually, the whole bathroom just needs to be cleaned again. The stuff that I normally clean is, the toilet and the sink, because that's the thing I'm using all the time. But the floor needs to be scrubbed.
Why is that an issue with roommates where people have to it's your job to clean, man? Write a list, and share.
I don't
and
I've never
roommates
understood
don't
that.
clean anything. I mean, like you and I would go through phases when we were roommates where we would,
But that was
but
because
we were so busy, that we didn't have time.
Typically-
and then we would
harangue each other like, we gotta clean, and it was just like, all right, we just gotta clean.
I don't have time, and then we would do it.
And then we would find a moment and we'd clean the whole house.
Yeah,
But
and it was nice.
I think it's because people didn't have parents like our parents. Because our parents insisted on us cleaning everything
yeah, all the time.
all the time.
Yep.
Like, if you made a mess, you had to clean
you had
it
to
up.
clean it up.
And if someone else made a mess, you had to clean it up too.
Well, the other thing too is that we had people over all the time.
That's true.
Like we were always having people, guests and whatever, coming over the house. And so when you're constantly having guests over,
Yeah, you had to
you don't want to
constantly
have a
clean things.
gross house.
Well, and I will say this. One of the other things, and this is, I think, one of the things that annoys probably you as well as me, with a roommate not cleaning anything up, is that when we were growing up, we had chores. We had a specific chore. So, like, one person's chore was the laundry, and one person's chore was the dishes, and one person's chore was vacuuming.
And we had brothers that didn't do their chore.
And we had one person's chore was cleaning the bathroom or something like that.
Yep.
And so, when I started doing the dishes when I was a little bit older, and I started to understand my brain, I guess. and understand how my brain worked. And so I figured out that if you unload the dishwasher when it's done, then the dishwasher's empty. You can just throw dishes in there, and you don't have them pile up in the sink, which is fantastic.
Which means that your loading the dishwasher job is not nearly
as big.
As big.
The only time that you really have to load the dishwasher is after a meal.
Yep.
The rest of the time, if someone's using a dish, it just goes right into the dishwasher. Yep. It's great. It's easy and simple, and you don't have a lot of dishes, which is probably something that Mom taught us, and then we just never followed. Right.
Yeah.
And then when I got older, it was like, why am I not doing this? This is way more logical and less work. Right?
Exactly.
Or like the thing I hate the most. I'm letting them soak. Turn the water all the way to the hottest setting and burn that crap out of there and get it out of the sink. Because what you're doing is you're being lazy.
Yep. And if you do need to let it soak, because sometimes you do, turn it to the hottest setting, fill it up, put it off to the side while you finish the rest of the dishes.
And then finish the dish.
Because
it doesn't take
it doesn't take
weeks to soak. I'm letting it soak. It's been in there for a month and a half. There's an entire ecosystem in this pot, bro.
They're walking on land already.
They've gone from amino acids to land dwellers.
Jeez. And I don't even believe in evolution. Oh.
So, it's frustrating. Speaking of roommates doing ridiculous things, does your roommate ever leave food out?
No.
So, my roommate does this.
No, but that is partly because I make stink. And because we had that little furry friend.
Yeah, that is true. But I make a stink too, but my roommate doesn't.
And then I killed him.
My roommate doesn't. It doesn't even faze him.
Your roommate is special.
Different. Yeah, he leaves food out. I've come home and he's left like Tupperware out open with food in it.
Oh, gross.
As a matter of fact, right now there's a half-eaten cookie in the freezer. Just laying there in the freezer. I saw it today when I went to get a burrito. Just sitting in the freezer. Not wrapped up. Not anything, just sitting there. It's just gross and not hygienic.
Ew.
Yeah. I don't...
I'm sorry, involuntary. Ew.
Ew.
Gross.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be watching from the corner with the fireman's hat.
Cheering. So can we see the anyway, this is what you're experiencing right now is a massive inside joke that me and Luke are having right now.
And I'm exhausted, so it's really funny.
Yep. Anyway, that is the end of our show. This has been PodBros.
We should throw couscous or Skittles.
A production of Sound Bros Productions. We are on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, YouTube, Facebook.
Jazz hands.
Thank you. We hope you learned something today.
Because if you're not learning, you're dying. So stay alive.
I think we got it.
Goodbye.